In this video, I'm going to show you how to join every faction in Skyrim, along with a very brief summary of the benefits you will gain for each. Let's start with the factions that force you to make a choice between them. First up, you have the Stormcloaks and the Imperials, the two factions involved in the Civil War storyline. In this case, there are no specific benefits to joining either faction, you just get to play out a different set of quests. And the quests aren't even really that different, to be honest. You basically participate in a number of battles to conquer Skyrim for the faction you choose. So in this case, I'd suggest you just join whichever one works for you thematically, or perhaps morally, but I won't get into that. You'll first be given the opportunity to join either faction as you're escaping Helgen. During your escape, you'll be given the option to join with either Ralof of the Stormcloaks or Hadvar of the Imperial Legion, and subsequently they'll give you a quest to join their respective faction. Don't worry though, you won't be locked in at this point, as you can choose to ignore the quest, and instead simply travel to the headquarters of the opposing faction and join them instead. For the Imperial Legion, you can join at this location in Solitude by speaking to General Tullius. And for the Stormcloaks, you can join at this location in Windhelm by speaking to Ulfric Stormcloak. Once you've aligned yourself with either faction, you'll get one further chance to change your mind. This happens at the end of the Jagged Crown quest, but after that, you're locked in for the rest of the playthrough. The next faction choice you'll eventually be asked to make is between the Blades and the Greybeards. This time you do get some benefits depending on the choice you make. If you side with the Blades, you can take anything you find in Skyhaven Temple, including the Dragonbane Sword. You'll be able to complete 2 additional story quests, and you'll gain access to repeatable dragon hunting quests. On top of this, the Blades also provide the Dragon Slayer's Blessing, which gives you 10% improved critical strike chance when fighting dragons, and access to a potion that reduces the melee damage you take from dragons by 25%. Alternatively, if you side with the Greybeards, you'll be given a series of quests that give you the location of word walls, and their leader Parthenax will be able to train you in order to make your shouts more powerful. You can become a full member of the Blades by completing the quest that Delphine gives you to kill Parthenax, which she'll offer immediately after the quest Season Unending, in which the peace negotiations are conducted as part of the main storyline. However, it's worth noting that if you've already completed the Civil War questline, then Season Unending will be skipped, as there'll only be one faction remaining. In this case, you'll be able to get the quest by approaching Delphine at Skyhaven Temple after killing Alduin at the end of the main quest. Now, unlike the Blades, you don't really join the Greybeards, you just choose not to upset them by killing Parthenax. If you do kill him, the Greybeards will effectively shun you from that point onwards, and you'll no longer be able to improve your shouts or participate in their word wall quests. Though this won't stop you from finding the walls yourself in order to learn the associated shouts. The final faction choice comes with the Dawnguard DLC, where you'll choose between joining the Vampires of House Volkihar or the Vampire Hunters of the Dawnguard. The benefits here are far more interesting than the previous 2 choices. If you choose to join the Vampires, you'll be transformed into a powerful Vampire Lord with a whole new skill tree and set of abilities. For more information on that, I'll link my Skyrim Vampire Guide in the description. On top of this, you also gain access to Deathhound followers and a number of expert and master level trainers, among other things. Alternatively, if you join the Dawnguard, you gain access to armoured trolls as followers, as well as several members of the Dawnguard, a number of different master level trainers, and access to a whole new weapon type, the crossbow. The main story of the DLC plays out in pretty much the same sequence regardless of your choice, but the perspective is different depending on which faction you align with. And you also gain a number of faction-specific side quests to participate in based on your choice. To join either faction, you'll need to travel to Fort Dawnguard at this location on the map and speak to Isran within the fort. You'll then receive a quest called Awakening that will send you to Dim Hollow Crypt in order to receive an artifact. During that quest, you'll meet a vampire called Serana, and she'll ask you to return her to her home at Castle Volkihar. As a reward for returning his daughter, Lord Harkon will offer to turn you into a vampire lord, aligning you with the vampires. Alternatively, you can reject his gift and then travel back to Fort Dawnguard to align yourself with the vampire hunters of the Dawnguard. Now let's move on to the big 4 factions that Elder Scrolls players will be familiar with from the previous games, even if they're named a little differently. Firstly, you have the Thieves Guild, which offers a number of benefits, including access to a fence to sell stolen goods, a number of master level trainers, unlimited Radiant quests, and the ability to eventually receive the Nightingale armor, blade and bow, as well as access to one of the best weapons in the game, Chillrend. And to be honest, that's not even close to an exhaustive list of the benefits, as I don't want the video to drag on forever. To me, the Thieves Guild is an absolute no-brainer to join, as even without the rewards, the quests are just really fun. It's also very easy to join. You simply need to travel to the Riften marketplace in the daytime, which can be found at this location on the map. And here you'll be approached by an NPC called Brynjolf. He'll give you a quest to steal a ring from an NPC in the very same marketplace, which will kick off the quest chain that will ultimately result in you becoming a member of the Thieves Guild. You just need to follow along. Next up we have the Companions, who are quite similar to the Fighters Guilds of the previous Elder Scrolls games. The major benefit of joining the Companions is the ability to become a werewolf, which will unlock a whole new skill tree and set of abilities, resulting in a totally new playstyle. There's a werewolf guide on my channel if you're interested in knowing more about that, and I'll link it in the description down below. On top of this, you also gain access to expert and master level trainers, an unlimited supply of Radiant quests, and unique items such as Wufrad and the Shield of Iskramor. Joining the Companions is probably the easiest of all. You simply need to head to their headquarters in Whiterun at this location on the map and speak to Kodlak Whitemane. Moving on to the College of Winterhold, otherwise known as the Mages Guild. The benefits of joining include access to master level magic trainers, the ability to purchase spell tomes, the ability to recruit mage followers, and if you pair it up with membership of the Thieves Guild, access to a load of expensive items to steal within the college and then sell to a fence. It's an easy way to make some early money. As with the other major factions, you also get access to repeatable Radiant quests once you've completed the main story. To join, you simply need to travel to Winterhold at this location on the map and attempt to cross the bridge to the college. You'll then be confronted by Feralda, who will give you the first quest in the Mages Guild quest chain. You simply need to follow along in order to become a member. The last major faction you can join is the legendary Dark Brotherhood. Joining them will give you access to a number of armor sets, including the Ancient Shrouded armor set, which is arguably one of the best light armor sets in the game. You'll also gain access to a number of powerful weapons, such as the Blade of Woe, the most powerful horse in the game, Shadowmere, the ability to recruit followers and summon spectral assassins, access to master skill trainers, unlimited Radiant quests, and of course one of the best storylines in the entire game. You also join the Dark Brotherhood in the most interesting way, at least in my opinion. Firstly, you need to travel to this location in Windhelm and speak to Aventus Aretino, and he'll give you a quest called Innocence Lost with the objective to kill Grella the Kind in Riften. Shortly after you complete this quest, you'll receive a mysterious letter with a black handprint on it, and the words, "We know." This is actually an optional step, but is very cool from a flavour perspective. Whether you've received the note or not, the important thing is that after completing the Innocence Lost quest, you need to go to sleep. You're then going to wake up in an abandoned shack in the middle of nowhere, and the quest to join the Dark Brotherhood will begin. Finally, there's a less well-known minor faction called the Bards College. In terms of benefits, you basically get a handful of additional quests, 3 of which reward you with 6 skills per quest, resulting in you getting a skill point for each of the 18 skills in the game. And you also gain access to a master speech trainer. To join, you'll need to travel to the Bards College in Solitude, which can be found at this location on the map. And you're going to need to speak to an NPC called Viamo. He will then set you off on a quest to retrieve an item on the college's behalf, ultimately resulting in you becoming a member of the college. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video has been useful in helping you to join each of Skyrim's factions. If so, maybe consider liking it, as that's going to help the channel to grow. I also have plenty more Elder Scrolls videos on my channel, as well as other games, so if that sounds interesting to you, then maybe consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.